This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be hearing from Colin Hayes' Fierce Mercy.
And Notes of Blue by Sunvolt.
Hello everybody and welcome to Music Worth Buying. My name is Robert Kinsler and I'm a music writer and a musician.
My name is TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
Now this week I'm going to kick things off with the latest album from Colin Hay, Fierce Mercy. Now for those of you that don't know, and probably most everybody does, Colin Hay was formerly the lead singer of Men at Work.
There you go.
The great Australian band, but that was way back in the 1980s. Yeah. It's not as if he's been sitting around. He has established, a highly acclaimed and much longer career as a solo artist. He has done a slew of great albums. I mean, so many of them have been fantastic. This album, again, finds him, mining all ends of the universe. Everything from a great song about his mother, songs about love. I guess there's even something on there about a UFO or something. I mean, this is just all over the map, but it is just a fantastic album. I can't say enough good things about it. And if there's an overarching theme about this album, I'd say it's the reality that he's coming from a perspective that more of his life has been lived behind him than lies ahead, which is something I can kind of relate to at my age. You don't know how long you have, but it's like, but rather than be defeated by that, I mean, this is just a great uplifting album. I mean, even the songs and there's a powerful song, maybe we'll start off with that one about his mother, where it's like, hey, she was the one holding him up in the beginning of their journey together, and he's the one holding her up kind of at her life's end and that kind of thing. And it's just a very powerful song. I mean, it brings tears to your eyes, but it's also like a triumph of like, hey, this is what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to be there for the people that we love, So why don't we, actually, that's probably a good segue into listening to a little bit. And this is called She Was the Love of Mine. And let's listen to a little bit of that one.
You got me intrigued. I want to know.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
She was the love of mine, and we had the best of times. We watched the ship sail at the fading of the day. She wore the...
How sickeningly sentimental. That was a great song. It was a really good song. Sorry. Couldn't resist the Rocky Horror, Rocky Horror reference there. No, good song. And he hasn't lost any of his voice.
No, hasn't.
Unlike me, who's hoarse right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
no fault of your own.
No fault of my own. No, he hasn't lost any of his voice. No, it's a very nice song.
Yeah, and
very nice song.
And on here, he, like I said, I think there's a lot of depth to these songs. They're delivered free of cliche. Even when he's like, doing maybe a love song for his wife or something like that, they're beautiful. But you never get the sense that they're silly, that they're trite. I mean, that's the far opposite of what you're going to get with this on Fierce Mercy. The other thing I would say is like on this song, you hear about a little of the chamber kind of pop thing. Other places you hear Americana on there, you hear jazz, you hear folk. Rock. There's all kinds of things he brings into a sound, but they all support his songs in really vivid and just powerful ways, and just love the way that he fuses his lyrics with what he's doing with the music too. Excuse me, our cough is contagious and sore throat. But I really like this, and I may have you help me. But it comes with I really like the audio CD package here. You can see the cover here, kind of neat. It folds out like that, and then inside,
vinyl gatefold.
Yeah.
Careful, CD wants to come out.
Okay. Oh yeah.
There we go.
It flew out under my car. Yeah, it's trying to get out. It wants me to play it again, which is great. And the booklet is just fantastic. Well, there's lyrics in there, but also some cool pictures. You can see what he looks like today, and has kind of just a really nice package. And the lyrics are easy to read, which we always appreciate. So bring that a little bit, and just really nice. I love so many of the kind of soft, introspective songs, but I say, I probably shouldn't just do that because I want people to get a sense of the diversity of the album and its sound. So why don't we now, we just heard...
Is there a death metal tune?
There is not that. Okay. No, not this time around. Yeah.
Just checking.
But this one has a kind of upbeat, joyous kind of spirit, and this one is called Come Tumbling Down. Let's maybe go out talking about this album with a little bit of this song.
Sure, okay, cool.
He said, son, just take a look around. There hasn't been a train through here since they all came tumbling down. Come tumbling down. Come tumbling down. Come tumbling, come tumbling, come tumbling down.
And that's a little bit of the lead-off track on Fierce Mercy. And like I said, every song on here is pretty different from each other. Like on this one, you heard a little bit of Cajun in it, a little bit of countrified blues. I mean, and it's all in there, and it works really well. It's like it never seems like it's being forced. It's always very authentic, and he's just such a master storyteller and master songwriter.
I like the song. I thought it was it kind of reminded me of a song that Elton John might have done during his earlier Americana days, during the days of his early albums, Tumbleweed Connection, that sort of thing. Had that kind of chorus to it, and I could even picture him singing it.
Yeah, one song I wanted to highlight, it's called Frozen Fields of Snow. We didn't have time to get to that one, but that's a deeply affecting song written by Hay about, it looks at a military veteran outside of the confines of the battlefield, and it's done in a very mature, introspective way, and it's just, he's going all over here, but there is a very great flow to the album, and the version I have here actually has 3 additional bonus tracks, and it's worth getting the deluxe edition for because anytime he's offering you up a song, it's a great one. So, with that, now who did you bring in today?
Okay, so I have today the 8th studio album by the band Sunvolt, and this album is called Notes of Blue. And this is my first exposure to this band. Not heard of them before. It was just one of those ones I just was randomly looking at new releases on Tidal and said, well, let's see what this sounds like. Let's see what this sounds like. And then along came this album. And it really struck me. This album is roughly about a little over 30 minutes. It's one of those, it's a very lean album. And it's one of those less is more albums. And I know we've talked about, our album's too long. This album is as long as it needs to be. And it doesn't overstay its welcome. This is, well, maybe I should just play something first, and then talk about the music a little
Sounds
bit
good.
later. But just real quick, when Wiki says they're alt country. When I popped them into iTunes, it said rock. And so we're just going to listen, and I'm going to see what you think.
Okay.
And we're going to see what you think. And here we go. And this is a track called Static.
Or is it my mind turned upside down? We all go down before we're ready. I feel like my time ain't long.
Now that's my first time hearing anything from this album. I'm with you. It doesn't sound strictly like obviously like an alt country song. It doesn't sound strictly like a rock song or even a southern rock song. It's kind of blending that. Whatever you would want to call it, it's awesome. It just sounds great.
To me, it's rock with a lot of Americana influences. Now, this song is led by Jay Farrar, who is guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter. He writes all the songs. He was formerly with the band Uncle Tupelo, which also featured Jeff Tweedy, who would go on to form Wilco after Uncle Tupelo broke up. And this album, these songs, when the opening track, which I'm not going to get to play on the show, the opening lines are, don't get down when the cavalry doesn't arrive. That's only in Hollywood, and they didn't get it right. And this is a song about human struggle, human adversity, and about knowing that these things will pass. Someday that these things will pass, and I get the feeling, this is probably a band that's dealt with a lot of adversity, or at least its principal songwriter Jay Farrar has dealt with a lot of adversity. This is clearly a band that deserves to have more recognition than it has, clearly in my mind. I'm going to talk about the packaging real quick, and then play some more. This comes in a mini vinyl gatefold, like so. And actually, I'm sorry, mini vinyl trifold, excuse me. My apologies. And
Got to get it right?
there we go. There's the interior. And it comes not with a booklet, but with a poster here. Little mini poster. Poster of the band. But when you turn it around, you get all the lyrics.
Oh, cool.
And once again, very easy to read. Really like that. And this is an album you do want to be looking at the lyrics while you're listening to it. You know, this album, I can't speak for their albums, I haven't heard them, but this is like, I think like maybe think of some of the comparison touchstones I might make would be like Bruce Springsteen, Neil Young, but up there in their darker moments.
Okay.
And especially Bruce Springsteen in his darker moments, his darker songwriting. And this is an album that is filled with that because, like I said, this is an album about human struggle.
Okay.
Even in its quieter moments, we have characters in these songs that are in moments of desperation, and that can make for good drama.
Makes for good songs.
In both music and in motion pictures. And so I'm going to play another track here. This one is called Threads and Steel. And this is the only track, in my opinion, that even has sounds at all country, is this track here. And it's a great track. I can certainly picture, if he was still alive, Johnny Cash recording this song.
Cool.
I can certainly picture that. Here we go.
When he walks, he's 5 shades of clean. He just stares and doesn't talk. He's got a sharkskin suit, no time for games. There's a man going round taking names.
Definitely on this one, it's much more country.
This is the only track, in my opinion, that has that flavor.
Yeah, but thankfully it recalls more, like you said, the Johnny Cash and the Merle Haggard country than some of the modern, more pop country that doesn't have kind of that resonance and stuff of some of the, like what Johnny Cash did. Just a great vibe. I love the sound, the way it was recorded. They're willing to step. They're not trying to rush the song. It just has a great feel to it. Just for a first listen, very impressive.
These are all very lean songs on a very lean album, and I think lean and mean is kind of the operative word with this album. Like I said, I can't compare it to anything previous because I haven't heard. I've just heard this album here, but I was just really impressed with this album and would highly recommend this one out to you and to you too.
Yeah,
and so
I definitely want to hear that album. Yeah, I plan to.
Cool, glad you liked it. And so I guess that's all for right now. And hopefully, if you've heard these albums, we'd like to know what you think. Please leave your comments. And until next time, once again, my name's TJR, and you can check out my other writings and whatnot on my own YouTube channel, which is TJR the Original.
My name is Robert Kinsler, and you can read more of my concert. Well, you can read my concert reviews at ocregister.com, and you can read pretty much anything else at musicworthbuying.com.
And so we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Hey, talk to you later, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.